1982, at the height of its popularity, one of the most successful action figure companies of all time went out of business. Some of the molds and intellectual property were absorbed by one of its industry partners to resolve an outstanding debt. 2 years later, during the launch of what could have been a market-redefining line of action figures, the partner company went out of business as well. An innovative new action figure line with a multimedia marketing strategy in place that defied the odds to make it to the shelves would be interrupted and subsequently lost, perhaps forever, unless you can help. What happened to the action figures that were produced but never made it to the shelves? How could so much merchandise disappear practically overnight? Can anyone solve the mystery of the Lords of Light?
PAC Toys presents Episode 5. Deep in space, a battle between good and evil has begun. Create your own adventures with the glowing action figures you control. Insert the Emerald light rods and see them glow in darkness or in light. The Lords of Light Collection, tomorrow's toys today. Safe and non-toxic, each sold separately, only from PAC Toys.
In 1978, toy manufacturer Mego Corporation, known for their 8-inch action figures featuring the world's greatest superheroes, Planet of the Apes, and Star Trek, launched a new line of toys called Micronauts. Licensed from Japanese toy company Takara with molds from their successful Microman line, Mego's Micronauts focused on modularity with potential combinations multiplied by the number of toys owned. Mego was nearly untouchable in the market until the entire toy industry went space war crazy with the release of a new line of action figures and vehicles from upstart toy company Kenner. Star Wars, a license that Mego passed on, would go on to become one of the top-selling toy lines for the next decade. Mego, however, had overdue bills across the business as bad investments and misuse of funds by members of ownership left them with no choice but to file for bankruptcy. The end of Mego meant the end of Micronauts the brand, but not necessarily the physical pieces. The Micronauts would be broken up with different companies acquiring different parts. Packing and Assembly Corporation, abbreviated PAC, was owned and operated by Joe Ruzzi. PAC had been working with Mego and other toy manufacturers in the United States as an assembly, packaging, and storage facility. When Mego was dissolved, molds for the original alien characters created by Mego became property of PAC as part of the deal to settle the millions of dollars they were still owed. PAC started a new company called PAC Phoenix Toys, symbolic of the rebirth of Mego through their absorption by PAC. PAC Phoenix Toys, sometimes called just Phoenix Toys, would release 3 branded products in 1983: Fabulous Feline Dolls, Charlotte Russe Dolls, and Rocky Balboa action figures. But Joe was looking for a way to get value out of the Micronauts molds and immediately began developing a new toy line utilizing those pieces. Fate would intervene one day when Joe was on a fishing trip with his children. One of Joe's other clients at Packing and Assembly Corporation was a company called American Cyanamid, a pharmaceutical company who, in 1969, invented Cyalume, a chemiluminescent material that is used in glow sticks.
First try.
Ooh, it's the hard words that are easy. On that fateful fishing trip, one of Joe's children was trying to jam a Cyalume glow stick into one of his action figures, presumably where the sun could not shine. It's the only access point. A meta-fluorescent light went off in Joe's head. This was the hook he was looking for to set him apart in the action figure market. Repurposed Micronauts action figures with glow sticks inside them. But the Micronauts name was in the clearance bins across the country. He needed a new story to tell. In 1984, PAC Toys released the Lords of Light, the Good Isurians, Lord Luma, Prince Futurion, Laborio, and Equestrian, battling against the evil Emperor Dementia and the Evilites, Topin, Nepros, and Toriak. 4- and 5-inch action figures molded with translucent parts that allowed the Cyalume glow sticks, or Emeraldite as it was called within the mythology, to shine through. Each figure designed with repurposed Micronauts parts and weapons, some that glowed even without glow sticks. Some figures could even hold the small glow sticks as handheld laser swords. Like Masters of the Universe, Pac-In mini-comics told the story. The blister cards showed off the entire line of figures, vehicles, and accessories. The Searcher, Cosmic Raider, Emeraldite Defender, Electro Torque ATV, Hyperflight, and Capcom 1. The line would be heralded by an incredibly well-produced live-action commercial depicting the heroes and villains of the saga. Laser swords, glowing eyes, really spectacular, spared no expense. Probably the closest we'll ever get to an actual Micronauts movie. With all this planning and production, why weren't the figures more successful? Why didn't Lords of Light, with one of the most unique and visually striking play gimmicks, become one of the great 80s toy lines? Several factors may have contributed to the preemptive exit of the line. When Mego was going out of business, another company called Our Toys purchased some of the Micronauts molds that PAC Toys was not able to acquire. Our Toys would go on to release a line of almost Micronauts molded in cheaper plastic at a lower price point in, we'll call them G2 colors. The new Micronauts derivative line was called Interchangeables and were on the shelf at the same time the Lords of Light would have been, further oversaturating a market that had already moved on from Micronauts. Not to mention the explosion of classic 80s brands supported by cartoons and comic books all over the toy aisle. Joe Ruzzi was investigated and found guilty of some questionable accounting practices. Apparently you can still be found guilty of illegal acts even if you aren't aware that they are illegal at the time. With Ruzzi indisposed, PAC Toys was unable to adjust to the loss of his leadership and guidance. Before the entire Lords of Light series could be shipped, PAC Toys was out of business. According to reports from people who worked for PAC Toys, the entire line was manufactured. However, as of this video, only 4 figures are confirmed to be in existence. All 4 Evilites, Emperor Dementia, Topin, Nepros, and Toriak, have been found loose and carded. But the remaining figures and vehicles, anything and everything else pictured in the commercials, have mysteriously disappeared. Lords of Light figures are incredibly rare not just because they were very likely produced in below average quantities, but because anything made out of translucent plastic is disappointingly brittle. Even if the toys made it to the shelves and were purchased, few samples survived the passage of time. Of the figures that have surfaced, Emperor Dementia is the most common. All of the figures can command prices into the hundreds of dollars, carded or loose. The degree to which collectors are even willing to pay top dollar for broken samples is a testament to the rarity of these items. In 2015, before he passed away, a prototype of Laborio was found by Joe Ruzzi himself and showcased on the website Plaid Stallions. It is the only significant discovery of any evidence beyond the 4 Evilite figures since the cancellation of the line mid-launch in 1984. What little information is available has been confirmed by Joe Ruzzi himself before his passing. Thanks to the diligent work of investigators Acro Ray and Plaid Stallions, we know more about this line than ever. But you too may be able to help move the story forward. If you have any information related to any other figures that may have been produced, or their whereabouts, perhaps cases of them in a warehouse or something, it may help solve the mystery of the Lords of Light. I want to try to do a take of the whole thing where I'm talking like Robert Stack. Thank you for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those of you who already are. If you're in the position to help the channel grow, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy. Thank you very much to Plaid Stallions and Acro Ray for the Lords of Light resources that they have made available online. Check out their websites and YouTube channels. Links in the description below. Please share this video and let us know in the comments down below if Lords of Light would have been a line you would have been into, or if you weren't really into Micronauts. So anything that's derivative of that, you're also not interested in. Cut.